Hi, and welcome to the Vancouver Real Estate Club Development and Construction Mastermind presentation. So if you're not able to make it out to one of our live events, this is a copy of the presentation that I'll be delivering at it. So hope to see you at the next one. So first off, I'm not a lawyer, an accountant, or a financial planner. I'm a licensed real estate agent, so I'm able to give advice related to real estate matters. But again, if you're seeking legal or financial information, probably talk to a professional. Real estate investing does have risks associated with it and can never obviously be guaranteed. So this is what I'm going to be talking about in the mastermind. So this afternoon, we're going to be going over some basic background information about investing in real estate and development projects. We're going to discuss 10 ways to develop real estate using other people's money that work in Vancouver, that work in British Columbia, that work across Canada. We're going to be presenting 50 available deals and 3 in detail, and that'll be done in a separate presentation. And then I'm going to be offering special offers throughout for obviously people members of my networking groups, so the Vancouver Real Estate Club, plus my meetup groups and Facebook groups. So for example, you should be able to just log in and get access to all these. So you're going to get a copy of the book, Investor Buying Guide. You can have a financing binder, sophisticated investor binder, and mortgage consultation valued at about $299. You get access to my foreclosure list and deals newsletter, and then free for everyone who signs up. So here's a copy of everything you'll be able to receive. So that's all there. And then you get the second offer of today's workshop as well as access to my newsletter. So make sure you're receiving that on a monthly basis. So a little bit about who I am and why I'm able to present this information. So first off, I graduated from both UBC and BCIT the same year, in the year 2000. So I got a business degree from BCIT after getting an arts degree at UBC. I'm director of sales marketing for a small manufacturing company. When we started there, they had about 600,000 in sales. And when I moved on, resigned to pursue my own entrepreneurial career, we had about $4 million a year in sales and about, I believe, about 40 employees by the time I moved on. So I was a sales marketing guy, got a lot of experience. And during that time, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then it basically explained the differences between why the business owner was getting rich and me as providing a lot of value was not, because I was an employee. My compensation was basically capped. So I took the information I got from there in 2006, 2007, and then I resigned to become a full-time consultant. So I was a marketing consultant from 2007. In 2007, towards the end of the year, I purchased a consulting franchise for $30,000. Became very successful with that. But the only issue was it was all gross income. It wasn't net income. So I had a little bit of a issue with paying some of my real estate debts, my foreclosure on my personal condo. So I ended up actually during 2008, during the crash, ended up going through the foreclosure process near bankruptcy. And this had a major effect on obviously my credit rating. It's very difficult to do real estate if you have bruised credit unless you know what you're doing. So during this time, also, I was very successful as a marketing consultant, filling rooms for people doing presentations. And we had a person come to us and said, hey, I'd like to teach people how to do real estate investing. I know of a technique to purchase development deals for very little money down and to be able to package them up and resell them for a profit. And I want to teach people this. And we said, okay, that sounds pretty cool. So basically, we helped him fill a room. What he's done, I'll show you how to do it shortly. But he basically put down $100, tied up for $4.9 million worth of real estate, marketed it, packaged it up, added value, and was able to sell it within a month. And he was able to make $100,000 in profit over that month. So we said, okay, we're gonna go do that. So basically, what we realized from that is this no money down real estate philosophy theory was actually not just a theory; it actually worked in real life. So breakthrough, we had an amazing result. And this is what's happened since 2008. So basically since then, I took that model and I've flipped over 100 doors since 2008, worth well over $20 million. So it's Vancouver. We have very high real estate prices here. Worked with joint venture partners using their cash and their credit. Ended up doing that process to buy my first building with partners in 2010. 14-unit building. Next, in 2011, purchased a 20-unit building out of a 42-unit building, 42 unit structure, 2 buildings. We bought basically the second side. So about 20 units in 2011, all using other people's cash and credit. I co-founded the Real Estate Joint Venture Club in 2010, and then I recently founded the Vancouver Real Estate Club about 4 months ago, and we've got a number of members, active members, and probably well north of heading towards 1,000 members on Meetup, all the various different Meetup groups. So very, very, very active, lots of happy members. I'm a licensed real estate agent, realtor with Sutton Group, West Coast Realty. So Sutton's the #1 real estate brokerage across the country. And I've been interviewed on the radio as a subject matter expert on CBC Drive Time Radio, and then on the Radio Real Estate Show on Saturday mornings with Tom Lucas. So I've also been nominated 2 times for top West Coast Investor, Top Investor of the Year. That's a little bit about me. Here's some of the projects we've done. This is our 14-unit building in Vernon, which I own with joint venture partners, have interest in. Here's the 20-unit building in Camrose, and these are the development projects. So today we're going to be talking about development. These are some of the development projects that I've been working on and participating in. A number of different coach homes out in Surrey. So next off, this is some testimonials. You can read that on the Meetup group testimonial as well. So Thane turned a previous real estate investment around from having to subsidize a tune of $1,000 a month to making more than $500 a month positive cash flow. So property values have jumped. So Mike's a pretty cool guy who works with us on our Alberta project. So next off, we're going to explain a little bit about the benefits of purchasing and why we're going to be investing in real estate. So first off, there's I think 6 main criteria. We are going to have diversification. It has positive leverage. It benefits from appreciation. You can use other people's money. There's a preferred tax treatment, and the government's out there to protect you. And then there's long-term cash flow as well. So basically, let's get started here. So diversification. Take your investments and put them in a number of different places. It's a very, very wise saying. And a lot of people just say, I'm diversified. I have my money in different mutual funds. Well, that's not real diversification. You should have your money, have money in savings, have money in stocks, have money in mutual funds, or have money in hedge funds, wherever you can place it to get the maximum return. Start investing in private companies. We have crowdfunding that's just been approved for British Columbia, so take advantage of that as well. And obviously, a lot of rich people, probably the vast majority of wealthy people, experience their wealth through owning real estate. So you want to have real estate as a sizable portion of your net worth. So obviously, we don't want to fully invest all of our money in the stock market. That's not what diversification actually means. Next up is leverage and appreciation. So this is where you benefit from positive cash flow and then mortgage pay down and appreciation. So this is a real estate purchase that you bought for $25,000. You put down half of the value. You put down 5% or 10% or 25% on a $100,000 property. This is basically what happens. Your original value stays. Your mortgage is paid down by your tenant, and then real estate appreciates. As you can see, on average, we're going to budget it at 3%. For the last 100 years, TD Bank says appreciation has actually gone up about 5.1%. So you put down $25,000, and over 25 years, your value grows to about $209,000 conservatively on a conservative appreciation mark. So this is why owning real estate's good. Other people's money. Real estate allows you to work with what's called OPM, other people's money. You could work with teams of other investors to do larger projects. You can make more profit on larger projects and spread the risk around. So that's why we like using other people's money. And we're going to be going over that quite a bit the rest of the presentation. Preferred tax treatment, Canada's investment tax credit. So if you borrow $15,000 to invest and you pay $500 in interest, your taxable income is reduced by that $500. So we have a nice little incentivized tax structure. Next up is long-term cash flow, income minus expenses. So anything left over is positive or negative cash flow if you have what's called an alligator, something that eats away. So we want to make sure all the properties that we look at are positive cash flow. Successful deals, and then also count towards equity and exit, built in your exit strategy. So buy something and then have an exit strategy in place, whether 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. How are you going to get out of that property cost effectively? Next up, another just explanation why real estate is good. Real estate has high cash yield. It has equity buildup as the renters pay your mortgage. It has leverage. It's a hard asset, and there's certain tax advantages. Stocks, bonds, and cash don't necessarily have those same advantages. How's the stock market done the last last 10 years, from 2010 to 2011, or 2000 to 2011. So the average mutual fund's up about 4% a year over that time frame. Peak to peak mutual fund, 1% a year, and high tech funds were down during that time frame. So the stock market, especially if we have a 2.5% MER, what's called a management expense ratio. So when you put your $1,000 in the mutual fund and the mutual fund earns 3% return, they pay themselves 2.5, and then they give you the remaining 0.5. So the mutual fund managers always make money. So that's why it's not a great place long term. How about GICs, guaranteed investment certificates? Basically, the update I checked about 2 weeks ago, what GICs are paying right now are about 0.75% at the falling interest rates where we're at right now. So the old thing about Freedom 55 has now become Freedom 105. But there are other solutions out there. So this is what's happened in the Vancouver real estate market. So if we're looking to do deals here, basically, as you can see, the residential detached has started to separate from basically townhomes and condos. And so as you can see, the price on residential detached is going up and up and up and up. Next up, what are some reasons not to invest? So these are some problems, hassles, and fears that people have. So I don't want to fix toilets at 2 a.m. in the morning. What happens if my tenant leaves and I can't find a new one? What happens if interest rates go up? Of course, people worry about that. Unforeseen repairs, complex paperwork, legal problems. Well, there's actually solutions to a lot of those issues. A large number of properties we deal with have rental pools, rental assurance programs. If you buy something from me as a buyer's agent, if you buy an investment condo, I'll often be able to attach a 1-year rental assurance that I'll be able to rent it out, find a renter for you if anything goes wrong. As a licensed agent, I'm allowed to do that. Interest rate guarantees, like you can buy back the interest rate, buy down your interest rate, working with a bank. You can do syndications, joint ventures, corporations to invest in development deals, kind of why we're here. We can work with experienced people. There's property management is in place to take those phone calls, and good insurance and lawyers can protect you. And always, just when you're doing an investment, always ask where the title, who has the title. That's kind of the most important part in real estate investing. What happens if everything collapses? This could very well take place. I'll give you an example right here. This is what happened in the United States. So this is how the government organization in the States is called Housing and Urban Development. So that's called HUD. So basically what happens was prices were going up on about a 3% or 5% annualized rate for the last 30 some odd years. Late 90s, the government decided to make everyone or give everyone mortgages who wanted them, what are called ninja loans. So no income, no job, no assets. They were still able to get a loan in the States. So obviously all that mortgage money coming into the system bid up prices. In 2007, those low interest loans, interest only loans got reset, and then people had to pay higher interest rates. They couldn't afford it, so they all started foreclosing, turned the keys in. But as you can see, basically what happened is the prices just fell down to the long-term growth average. So in Canada, if we have a bubble, quote unquote, that's basically what would happen to us. It'll just come down to its long-term growth average. So it's not the end of the world. And again, if something does happen, you can always insure against it. So these are called bear index hedge funds, and they bet against the marketplace. So when the market is going up, the real estate market is going up, these things go down. So as you can see, the last ever since 2008, the real estate market's gone great in Canada and the U.S. So these things go down and down and down and down. But in 2008, because these things were countercyclical, when we had that big crash, these things shot up through the roof. So this one was $2 and shot up well over to $16. This one's about, I think about $10. This one shot up to its maximum point, about $141. So basically, you can prepare yourself. If you're going to do a $100,000 investment, take $5,000 and place it into either of these. So you're going to put $100,000 to buy a condo in Florida, take $5,000 of it, put it in the USA fund, and then that protects you. So if you're going to hold it for 5 years, if something happens in 3 years and the market crashes, then your benefit. You can actually insure against it. And then Canada, the same sort of thing. So we'll be talking about a bit more how to do that later. Next, you want to be focusing on fundamentals. It's a chart from the Real Estate Investors Network, a long-term chart that they publicize, and it's exactly correct. Basically, you're looking for areas that have GDP growth, job growth, which is going to lead to job growth. That's going to attract people, which will lead to population growth. Population growth will lead to increased rental demand. People have to live somewhere. We're going to have decreased vacancies because people keep moving there. Increased rents. Rents go up because more people are demanding. And then 18 months, people decide they want to buy once they've lived in a place. So the price of properties start going up. And demand goes up and then prices go up. Increased prices go up. So that's usually how it works. Or you have long-term growth, you have long-term price appreciation. So different types of deals. First off, you can buy your personal residence with between 5 and 10 or 20% down. And that's to live in. You can even buy a fourplex with 5% down. You can buy a typical investment property with 20% down. That's certainly possible. You can become a real estate deal maker. So that's guys like us who put deals together. And you can make money that way. You can invest in a limited liability partnership. So the general partners go up, do the investment, and then they pay you back a tax-advantaged return. So you don't have to worry about it. And your liability is limited in that. You can invest in a mortgage investment corporation or a MIC. They earn between 6 or 7 or 8% returns. You can self-direct your RSP and your TFSA, and then you can use that to invest into real estate projects. You can buy into a joint venture. You can participate with your money and your credit. You can participate just with adding money, and then someone else uses their credit, or you can just provide your credit, and that potentially gives you a no money down type situation because someone else is providing the down payment. You qualify for the mortgage using your credit, but you don't put any money down. And you both own the property 50-50 or 60-40 or however, you're both participating in that project. And so you're down for effectively no money down. So that's a great way to do a no money down type deal. So let's take a break now, and then we're going to be running some of the numbers and on a typical real estate development deal. So that's going to be my next video. Thanks very much. Talk to you in a bit.